All right, Ghost and Ghouls. Today we are joined by the great Jason Leavy. Man, welcome. It is an honor to have you here on the Empty Crypt. So, for people who have been under a rock the last few years and may not know who you are, give us some insight who Jason Leavy is.
Well, I'm a filmmaker at heart. I've been doing it for such a long time. What recently we produced, me and my team produced Terrifier 2, and we just finished and hopefully going to finish Stream, which is going to hopefully come out a little bit later this year. So we got a lot of projects down the pipeline, but we're very excited and hard at work. As everybody knows, we're trying to promote everything, and with the release of Terrifier 2 going right into Stream, it's been a busy couple of months, busy couple of years. So we're excited to finally get this Stream off the ground and ready for the world to see it.
Sure, man, and I know there's tons of people excited for this. So, but before we jump right into Stream, how did you get your start into filmmaking? I know you and your brother and your childhood friend Steve. You guys got Fuzz on the Lens. So, how did we get up to all this?
Well, me and Michael really started from such a young age. I mean, I posted something on my Instagram today, and it kind of rooted back to like why we got into the love of horror. It was this show called Are You Afraid of the Dark? I don't know if anyone really remembers it. It was on
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. And me and my brother, instead of watching like kid shows like Barney and stuff like that, my mother, who was actually the root of it all, was a huge horror fan when we were kids, and she would show us movies like, like Pennywise, It, and Halloween, and all those things. And we were just so infatuated, not with just horror, but the aspects of filmmaking. So while other kids, were out and playing Manhunt and tag and all that stuff, me and my brother would steal my mother's camera, her like video camera, that she would record family functions like birthday parties and things like that. And we would just go out and make movies or spoofs and things like that, just to keep, the dream alive and just keep going. And that's really where it all started. At a very young age, that I remember that I've always wanted to do this. I've known this was a passion of mine, and not just a passion. It's been a path to get, career wise. And
Mhm.
for as long as I remember, and it's always been me and Mike. And then Steve also as well. I mean, we were in grammar school when we met Steve. I went to grammar school with Steve. We went to high school and college. So like he's basically is a part of the family, not blood related, but he is, I consider him a brother. And for us three to go in this together is as a dream coming true, which is great.
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, as all this is unraveling for you guys? Like, how does it feel to know that there's other people who probably been in the game a little bit longer than you guys wanted to start to emulate what you guys are, the success that you guys are having? Like, how does that feel?
I mean, it's very humbling to be honest, because us is just, let's just keep making movies no matter if they fail or if they succeed. It's always just trying to better yourself, I think, each project. And if you see progression, there's always going to be something wrong with your projects no matter what. And that's why when we show our movies to other people, yes, we love the positivity that everyone's like, oh, this was great, this was great, this was great. But we also love the flaws that people, bring to our attention, because the only way I feel like you get better in time is learning from your mistakes. And that's been a key, motto that we've been going by for all these years. And that's why we just want to get better and better and better and better and see the progress.
Mm. Cool. Yeah, and I definitely think, like I said, seeing you guys progress, especially like, so let's kind of jump back a little bit. I know in 2014, I talked to your brother Michael about it. But like, how does it feel to have Stephen King, kind of tweet you guys when, because essentially you guys started the whole clown movement
Yeah, yeah.
across social media. So like, I believe in 2014, I was a senior in high school,
Right.
and remember seeing everything, like people having clowns here, here, here. But it's like you guys started that trend, man. So how was that to reach success for a prank
Well,
at a very
it was wild at the time, because I remember, I don't know how much Michael told you, but we came up with the idea like a Buffalo Wild Wings, and it was me and him. We had a couple of drinks, and we were sitting there, and I remember my friend Greg was sitting with us. It was just us three, and we were just gearing up to shoot Abnormal Attraction, but we didn't really have clout behind Fuzz on the Lens. Yes, we made short films and things like that, but we didn't really have, like, it wasn't out there to the public. We wanted people to know who we were before we went to our first, big feature film. Um, so we were like, let's just do something, publicity stunt wise, and see if it, if it takes hold. And we were sitting at the table and we were throwing out ideas like, let's throw a Sasquatch out there, take a picture, and maybe it'll blow up on social media. We don't know. And then we were like, you know what? Let's just try clowns because people either love clowns or they hate clowns.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there. Me and Mike was like, "Oh my God, it's a great idea." We didn't know if it was the drinks talking or whatever, but we were like, "Oh, this is gonna be really good. Maybe you can go somewhere." And my friend said, and I remember this to this day, he said, "That will never work. You guys are so stupid." And I said, "You want to come help us or not?" He goes, "No, I'm going home." So he went home. And me and Mike were like, "All right, we're still doing this. We're going through with it." And we took the first picture on my corner, which was on the corner of where I live. And we thought maybe in like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it would be, in the front page of our local newspaper. In 3 days, we were scrambling because it was everywhere. This thing blew up. We didn't even think, like the smallest idea can blow up to something so big because it's a clown. The topic of clowns has been so controversial over so many years. So to bring that to the forefront to the public, it got them, engaging with each other, and it just took off a new road on its own, which was absolutely insane at the time.
Dude, for sure. So anybody who's going to be watching this a little bit later, your fears of clowns, this guy right here that's in front is the reason for that. So
There
you
you
guys
go.
go after him, not me.
You can
But
either love me or hate me. Hopefully you love it.
that's hilarious, man. And so, after that, it kind of is crazy how it worked out. So after, the 2014 prank that went viral, right? Stephen King tweeting you guys. And then you come to 2016 where you guys run into Damien, and walk us through that.
Yeah, well, we didn't meet Damien. We met Damien through Phil Falcone and we met Phil Falcone through one of our sound guys and really good friends, Jason Milstein. When we were filming Abnormal Attraction, I remember we were shooting it overnight, and Jason comes up to us, and we were in the mist. I was in the Finbar makeup and everything, and he comes up to us and he goes, "Hey, I have a really, really awesome producer friend of mine. His name's Phil Falcone. He loves movies, loves making movies. He's in the middle of his movie called Joe's War, or writing it. And he just wants to see how like a set is run and things like that because he's been doing it for a while. And he's like, is it all right if he comes to set and sees how you guys work?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." We were like, "Of course, we're always open for, your friend is our friend, whatever. We bring him in." So he came and he really liked the way we were working and things like that. He was impressed. And Phil came up to us. He goes, "Hey, listen." He goes, "We have this clown movie." He goes, "I don't know if it's going to go anywhere." This is in the very beginning. They've shot a majority of the first film. He said, "We don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but I would love to have you guys come on and help us shoot some pickups because we got some little kill inserts or some scenes we have to add on that we can really use your guys' help on." And we said, "Absolutely." He said, "We'll definitely come down because we love to work." And then he showed us the character, and we said, "Wow, this thing's gonna hit." Like we knew this thing's gonna be big because Damien came up with this character such a long time ago. And when we saw the first picture of him, we were like, "Wow, this thing can take off." So we're like, "Yeah, we'll be a part of it." And then they were offering roles, and Damien's and Phil's like, "Why don't you try out for these roles?" Because they had to do a reshoot with the cops at the end because there was an original ending, but they wanted to reshoot it for some reason. So originally, Michael and Steve tried out for that part for the cop. And I was the
Mm.
man in the dust. And I was like, all right, whatever. So then finally they said that they wanted to add another kill scene. Now imagine that, adding another kill scene to Terrifier 1. And he was like, "It's not enough kills, not enough kills." So he said, "Michael, do you want to try out for the exterminator?" Because they wanted to have an exterminator. They didn't want to have two bald exterminators. That's why. Because the other guy was the bald too. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'll try out for the cop with Steve. And then Mike tried out for the exterminator, and then he got it. And then we just really, hit it off with Damien. And we were just, we were proving that we can, be in it for the long haul and do the overnight shoots and do whatever needs to be done to get the movie done. And he really liked that. And then we came on and we started doing Terrifier 2 with them.
Nice, man. It's just
Yeah.
magical how everything unfolded for you guys. But Abnormal Attractions. Now, how did you guys get such an all-star cast? Like, I know Tyler Maine was in it.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I forgot. I know
Les-
Tyler Maine.
Leslie Easterbrook, Malcolm McDowell, Gilbert
Yeah.
Gottfried. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
So,
how we did that is that in the very beginning, like when we first started Fuzz, we didn't jump into feature films right away. And I've always say this for filmmakers: work your way up to that because it's good to master the crafts of short films because it's harder to I feel to make a short film because you got to pack a story into 10, 15 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes at some points. So work on that craft and then work your way up and meet people and network. So when we were making short films, we would put it as many festivals as possible. And we entered it into Hot Springs Horror Film Festival with Tamara Glenn. Then we met Eileen Dietz. Then we met Tyler Main at that festival, got really close with him. And we're not like the type of people when we go out, we try to change and we have a business demeanor. We are who we are. We are what you get. Like what you see is what you get, basically. I'm the jackass. And then we all just blend in like some sort of family. There's no fake, persona, things like that. So people really gravitate towards that. And that's what I say too. If you're trying to, you know, be somebody else, it's just not going to work. You'd rather be the best version of yourself. So
Mhm.
yeah, we just started connected through that way. And then we went to our first horror convention, our first horror convention, which was Rock and Shock, and met people that way. And it's just networking is just a huge, thing that you need to do in this industry, unfortunately. And carry yourself and carry your way and carry your persona in a certain way, and things can go out very well for you.
Nice, man. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So jumping right into Stream. Now, where did the idea for Stream come from? I know you guys are working on this right around with Terrifier 2 as well. So how was it trying to balance two projects and then start a franchise of your own?
I wouldn't say it's too hard because when we were doing Terrifier, we had Stream written already. Stream was written in 2015, which was, like right after we did Normal Attraction. Well, it was conceived in like 2015, and then we started writing it. It took a little while to get drafts, and you go through certain amount of numbers of drafts. So we were up to like 9 or 10 or whatever. But we had this set aside, and we knew that we wanted to do something immediately right after Terrifier 2, just to
Mm.
keep us, fresh, just to keep us going. So we did Terrifier 2, and then we were prepared to go right into Stream, and then COVID happened. So then we were like, oh man, are we gonna still do this? Like we waited, like I think towards the back end of COVID in January is when we started officially shooting Stream. But we already had all that, kind of laid out of like what we were gonna do. But then it was just really ramping up the pre-production and getting, what the killer's gonna look like, and then who's the cast, and going through the story arcs and bringing everybody in. That's like, and then we wanted to work with the same cast, and I mean the same crew as
Mhm.
Terrifier, because we felt that we worked really well together already, and we just wanted to bring that family back at it again for another feature film and see what we can do with it. And I watched the first, I want to say very close to final, but there's still a couple special effects and stuff in there, and I'm very, very happy with all the work that everybody's done, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Oh man, I'm excited from all the buzz, that you guys have created around this, and the fact that you guys, you guys know what you're doing. So I think the fans are going to be very excited. Now, for all the people that associate you guys with Terrifier and all that stuff, like how do you think Stream will match up? Because obviously, everything you do moving forward will probably be in some way compared, you
Right? Yeah,
know,
of course, of course.
to Terrifier. So, like, how do you manage that
Um,
idea?
I I think they're two totally different concepts. I mean, yes, we brought Damien on, and the kills are kind of, we wanted to keep that same 80s vibe type of kills and gruesome thing that Damien's so great at. But they're two totally different ends of the spectrum. Like, I mean, Terrifier is that gritty 80s, one slasher type of film that's like very culty. And in this one, we wanted to give it, some meat and some potatoes to show what else we can do in the horror genre, not just the same old, killer one night guy killing somebody. We wanted to bring it into another aspect without giving too much away. But
Yeah.
we wanted to show the range. And yes, we're going to be compared to it, but again, they're two totally different projects, and you have to be able to do totally different things within the horror genre, or else you're just going to be labeled as one specific type of movie, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what your point is there. So, how did you get the cast together? Because I mean, you guys, I feel like everything that you guys have come with now is like have stars, man. Like, usually, indie films, usually, they have like a hit or miss, a star here and there. You guys have a whole plethora of just mega horror icons. So
Right.
how did
It's just meeting people along the way, like I said before, like networking with people, and then have confidence in your writing, and then just send it over to some agents and start talking to them, and just don't be afraid to, to hear the word no. And then if your script is that good, it'll speak for itself. And Jeffrey really loved the script when we sent it to him. He did a phenomenal job of this movie. He's gonna be super. People are gonna be very super proud of his performance. I get the chills when I watch him actually act on set. He was phenomenal to deal with. And just everybody in the cast, Daniel Harris, and all the people that we have announced so far have really brought it together. And not even the big names, like some of the names that are just that have been around in the acting community for a while, but they really stepped up to the plate. And we wanted to bring also Wesley, who's a very talented young actor. He was a serial kid in Terrifier, and we brought him to the forefront in this movie, and he absolutely kills it. Absolutely kills it, and people will be very, very proud to see him, in this type of role as well.
Nice. Yeah, I know. Speaking with your brother a bit, so word on the street is that Jeffrey Combs, this is probably one of his greatest performances.
Yeah, I think I honestly think it's up there, and I'm not being biased. I really do. I've watched it again the other day, and I still have the same feeling that he absolutely killed this role. I felt like he was meant for it. Um, he just lifted our words and our like everything we were thinking for the character that was in those pages. He brought to life. That was absolutely crazy right before our eyes, and he did a phenomenal job. I can't express it enough. I want to say more, but I can't because it's just I want everyone to be surprised. But he did a great job along with everybody else in the cast.
For sure, man. I'm telling you that the excitement you guys have built is phenomenal with this. Now, what's the hopes? I know that the end game for you guys is obviously to have a franchise,
Yeah.
but besides that, what's the hopes for your career in Fuzzle and Lens?
Just keep making movies that we love and just keep going back into them, not having a lull and just go into project after project after project after project, and then hopefully, start like a type of movie business that we all love, and making movies that we love and that we grew up watching and that we enjoy watching, not only as fans, but as horror fans. I remember when I was sitting down watching Stephen King's It for the first time, and I feel like the feeling of being scared is like no other. So if I can make people scared with this content we throw on screen, it's actually, it's rewarding, as messed up as it sounds, but you've got something successful, because in a comedy, yes, you hear their laughs. That's why we also like making comedies, but it's very hard to judge a drama because you don't have reactions. But with horror movies, you always have reactions, and when you hit and when you fail. And that's why I feel like a lot of people say it's easy to make a horror movie, but I say no. I think it's one of the hardest genres to make because it's very hard to make someone scared. It's very hard to make those moments of those those jump scares and things like that. So people need to really, give some more respect to horror, the horror community.
For sure. So, what director or writer would you say that you guys' writing style aligns with the most? Like, who do you seek for like inspiration when you need, that reminder of why you're doing it?
I mean, I don't know about specific directors, but I mean, we take a little bit from each of one. Like, I know I grew up watching Steven Spielberg movies and Robert Zemeckis. I know it's a total opposite side, but I loved what he did with Jaws. I mean, all these people, a lot of people that are in the industry today, they all started in horror. Like Paul Rudd, Jennifer Aniston, Steven Spielberg did Jaws. So I mean, they all started through this genre that everyone loves still to this day, and anybody can go see it. So I mean, like, you take little bits and pieces from here and there, but I think at the end you want to be original. You want to be yourself.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think your camera kind of unfocused there a little bit.
Yeah, that's really weird. Hold on. I don't know why he's doing that. Hold on one second. Let me see. Let me turn it off and turn it back on, see if that works. Oh wait. Yeah, is that better?
Cool.
There
Yep,
you
yep,
go.
yep.
Beautiful.
No, man. So again, I really hope, well, I don't hope, I know that this is gonna be, the next great franchise, man. It is, like I said, again, sounds like this is gonna be something refreshing.
Yeah.
Something
Well, that's what we wanted to do.
new.
We wanted something fresh but also familiar. And a lot of people were asking us, they were like, hey, please, can you wait a little longer on the Indiegogo? Can we please, because we want to contribute. So we left it open for a little bit because we want to get people involved more. So we said, all right, well, hopefully we can get to the people to come in a little bit later, because our goal now is to get 180,000, which is absolutely insane. I didn't even think we would get to that point. But the support for all the fans that they are showing towards this project and towards us, and the belief that they have in us, is absolutely rewarding. And we couldn't have done anything without the fans, and we wouldn't be here today without you guys. So we just really want to show our appreciation and thank you guys so much. It means a lot.
Heck yeah, man. There you have it. So, fingers crossed we get a stream two. Is there going to be another Indiegogo campaign for that, or are you guys going to go?
I think it's a little bit too early to tell, but I would say this: we always love to get the fans involved in whatever we do, because we are, like I said, we are horror fans when we started. So, and we still are horror fans. So to give the opportunity to the fans to jump in on something that's really cool, and a really cool that can be a really cool franchise. We're always open to the idea. So a little bit too early to tell for Stream 2. Let's get Stream 1 out, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But I mean, we love to keep the fans involved.
All right, yes, sir. That's beautiful. So, just in closing, sir, where can the fans get in? Well, not get in contact with you per se, but just try to keep up with Jason Leavy and the Stream franchise.
You guys can find if you guys want to follow Stream, we have all the handles on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Stream Franchise. That's where we're going to throw all our updates. Maybe a trailer at some point. Don't know. Maybe it's coming soon. Who knows? And then also you can find me at it's on Twitter. It's at JLevy83, and then on Instagram it's at Jaybird with 2 D's 83. But yeah, you guys can find us on that, and we would love to hear your thoughts on anything horror, especially Terrifier. Everybody that reaches out to me and says this is their favorite movie they've ever seen, and keep up the great work. It really means a lot, and it's very humbling to hear.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And just one last thing in closing, I promise.
Yeah,
So, for any aspiring, any aspiring directors or anything like that, any advice you could give to them for writing or directing?
I would say never give up. That's the big thing. Always dream big. Don't be afraid to jump fully in the water. Don't just stick your toes in. Just go deep in and go for it. Shoot for the stars. Don't be afraid to take risks, because that's when things pay off the most. And yes, it's going to feel scary in the beginning, but once you start getting in the groove of things and learning to fail and learning what made you fail, that's only going to get you better. So I would just say, go do it. If you guys have an ambition of doing a feature film, go and do it. Don't sit down and say, oh, well, I need this, this, and this, and this. No, we did our first feature film with no money because we just love filmmaking. So we just went out and shot it, and we were like, let whatever happens, happens. And the only way you learn is if you do it. So go out and do it and dream big.
All right, Barry. Thank you so much for the advice there, sir. That's all I have for you today, and I do appreciate you joining us here on the Empty Crypt. And
Yeah.
you have a great night, sir.
Yes, you too, man. Have a great night, and always a pleasure talking with you.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome.